guys, welcome. It is noon my time, Pacific Standard Time, and for today's Stash Buster Challenge, we are going to talk about Totally. And so this is all about tags. So today I want you to get into your stash and I want you to create some tags. I have some tags right here that I purchased, and I think these are Brutus Monroe ones. These are from I don't know where ones. And then I have the wonderful tag pads from Prima. These are so much fun. But if you don't have tags, I'm going to show you how to make a tag. This is so easy. You guys probably already know how to make a tag. I'm going to use watercolor paper, and I'm going to create two tags today, backgrounds for tags. So this is some watercolor paper that I'm going to just cut down, and I am going to make, let's see here, I'm going to move this off. Sorry about the glare. I hate that thing, but if I turn the lights off, it's hard to see sometimes. Maybe I should just turn that one off. Is that better? That's a little better. So I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to make this one, I'm going to do these 3 inches. All right. I also will run my tags through a die cut machine and just die cut them, so you don't really need this. 3 inches, and then I am going to flip it over and just cut it down the halfway mark. And this one is 9, so I'm going to do 4.5 inches and create 2 tags out of this. All right. And then from here, you just have to trim the edges a little bit. All right. This is so simple. I should have probably paid attention to what I lined it up at, but that's okay. Oop, that one got a little bit too much on that side. So, got to even it out now. Oh, the joys of live when you mess up. Oh boy. How bad did I screw this up? Okay, so that's going to be a wonky one. That's okay though. You can actually turn that into a house tag if you wanted. And then you can take a corner rounder if you want, round the corners out on the bottom. This is just really generic. And then you just take a crocodile or a hole punch. I actually prefer hole punches. And you just put a hole in the top, and now you have a tag. So freaking easy. All right, so this one, I'm going to, now if you have a tag already, like this one, not pretty, I made that last year, you can actually line it up and just line it up, and then there you go, and then you can cut on the lines. So it's not real difficult. Yesterday's challenge was really detailed, and people were like, I don't have that, and I can appreciate that. So this one, you can do this with any kind of paper. I'm using watercolor paper. You can do it with any kind of paper whatsoever. It doesn't even matter. Book paper, coloring books, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just make a tag. And now that ones are not so severe. But really, what qualifies a tag is a hole in the top. So we're going to put this in, and then we're going to move on. I'm going to show you a couple different backgrounds that you can do on your tag, and then make sure you go over to the group Stash Busters and post your tag for today. I have an album up over there already. So I would love to see what you create. We can inspire each other. So I have a couple different ideas for these. The first one is I want to create a galaxy background. I've done this before. So I'm just pulling out Ken Oliver's Color Bursts. These are actually no longer available, I don't think. So I'm really digging in the stash today for these. And all you have to do to create a starburst is, I like to wet my paper down first, and you're just going to apply your pigment and the powder pigment. And I just like to, like I said, I like to wet it down first because it tends to just stay a little bit better. It holds, it doesn't brush off. So that's what I like to do. And then, oh, violet isn't part of this little collection. We'll do night sky next. And a little goes a long way on this. And then deep sea will be after that. And then I'm going to move it around with some water again because it still will move. Now it doesn't look like deep, galaxy yet, but I have to show you the trick for that. So I'm going to go ahead and just heat it up with this. I just got this heat tool. It's the Ranger one, and I really like this craft tool. So this is the reason why I did this on watercolor paper, because the techniques that I'm using today are wet. All right, then I just want to kind of get the back side a little bit because the back also gets saturated with water. Okay, and I'm just going to, you could dip this in and slop it up, but I'm not gonna. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more color to it. So I'm going to do, I think, some night sky, the blue up there, kind of down there. And then also a touch of that deep space. And then from here, all right. And if it's too intense, all you have to do is you just have to pop a paper towel on, and that'll loosen the intensity. So I'm going to dry it just one more time, and then I'm going to show you the trick to making it look like a galaxy, and that's to add stars. And I like to add stars with white paint and just a brush, flicking a brush. Almost done here. I know, nothing's more boring than watching paint dry, but I can't move on to the next step unless I have this semi-dry. Alrighty, now, as you can tell, that's a pretty good start. You can almost see it, but not quite. So what you can do is you can take some white paint. I'm just going to use Titanium White by Folk Art because that's what I have. Move this out of the way because this is going to get messy. And I'll just put my white right there in that light. Really, that's too much. I do not need that much white. Whoopsie. Okay. And then you're going to take, and you're just going to add a spritz of water to it. And I am going to use my Distress brush, mix it up like so. Cover it, and then splat it. And now we have a galaxy tag that needs to dry. So that's how I create my galaxy tags. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Pretty cool, right? So we're going to move on from here. I'm going to create another one, and I'm going to actually use Distress Oxides on this one. But you can use, just sky's the limit. If you want to cover it in, paper, you can totally cover it in paper. You don't have to do paint if this is too messy for you. I understand that not everyone is super messy, and I'm trying to conserve my paper towels. So I have a bottle of a thing of dried up wipes that I'm going to use to clean up that mess. All right. I think we're all kind of concerned about the paper towels and toilet paper and whatnot. So if I can just get the majority of it up with dried up wipes, and then go ahead and clean this down, and we'll move on. Okay, so the next one I'm using is I'm actually going to use some Distress Oxides, and I actually don't like Distress Oxides as much as I like Distress Ink. And it's just because, and I don't like the oxides just because they get white, and I don't like that white look. So I've kind of learned how to make a vibrant background without necessarily doing that. So for this one, I'm going to create an initial type, like with a letter on it, like this B. I'm going to put this on a tag, and that would be super cute on a gift. You can like personalize your gifts for somebody with the first initial of their name. That's fun. So I need my splat box for this. I should have used it with that one too, but oh well. So here's my splat box, and I have several. Pulled out the gunkiest one. I should have pulled out the nicer one for you guys. I'm sorry. So here we go. So this is going to be the tag that I'm going to use, and I have a couple. I only bought the Distress Oxides that I knew that I would use, and I'm going to pay attention to my color family. So I definitely want my tag to be warm or cool, and then I'm going to want my initial to be the opposite so that it's nice and contrasting. So I think I'm going to use some lemonade on the tag. I'm going to use picked raspberries on the letter. And then I'm going to use, actually no, I'm going to use seedless preserve on the letter with picked raspberries, maybe, we'll see. Twisted citron, and then I think I'm going to do Mermaid Lagoon. These are going to be the colors that I'm going to use on my tag. So you definitely want to give these a good shake. And then once you get them nice and shook up, you just want to shake before each use. So I'm going to start by using the oxide spray, the squeezed lemonade on the top. And I'm just going to run that over the top. And I'm going to heat set it, and then I'm going to move on to the next color. All right, and so the next color is going to actually be the Blue Lagoon. I'm going to do that on the bottom, and I'm going to put the green right through the middle. So here's the Blue Lagoon. I already like how this tag looks. All right, and I'm going to do Twisted Citron in the middle. And then heat set that. And then I'm going to go back over with that Blue Lagoon and that lemonade. Okay, so lemonade's next. Heat set it. I really do have a method to my madness, you guys, I promise. And then I'm going to take that Blue Lagoon again. Heat set this. right, and then from here, I'm going to do it one more time. With this one, I'm going to add a little bit of water just to lift some of the color. Because like I said, I prefer these as vibrant as possible. So yellow up here. And then the Blue Lagoon on the bottom. And again, I'm not going to heat set this until I put a little bit of water on. All right, so there's that. And now I'm just going to take my water bottle and do a couple pulls of the trigger. And there we go. And then I'm actually going to take and just lift that color up because that's the look that I want. All right. And then heat it one more time, and then I'm going to set this aside so we can do the letter. And I'm not loving it, so I'm going to do it like that. Barely pulling the trigger. I think I like that. And let me do a little bit more right here. That's better. A lot of this is just playing with it and getting what you want, you know? Okay, so I'm going to just take this out, set this aside, call it good, and let's work on the letter. So the letter that I chose was the letter B. And I'm actually going to flip my splat box over because that has wet paint on it still. And for this one, I'm going to start off with the raspberry, and then I'm going to add the seedless preserve. So this one is the raspberry. Now let's add the seedless preserve. Again, I'm shaking, shaking, shaking. Oh, I think I like that. So I'm not going to do anything else to this. All right, so from here I want to attach this to my tag, but before I do that, I want to go ahead and ink the edges on the tag because they need to be finished, or I think they need to be finished. So I'm just going to quickly wipe down my space. All right. And we'll put our galaxy tag that we just did right over there. And I'm going to pull out my little thing. Black soot is what I'm going to use around the edges of this. I am going in pretty heavy-handed on it. All right, so there's that. And I'll do a little bit on the bee as well, just to kind of make it pop. I can't get into all the nooks and crannies on the bee, of course, but that's okay. All right. And from here, it's kind of fun to add a little bit of texture if you want to do that. I was thinking that maybe I would take one of my doilies that I bought just at my local craft store. I have this pink one, and you know, popping it down, or I could do like the yellow one. I think I might like the yellow one a little bit better. Popping it down, and see, that one has a little bit of a issue, so that's perfect. So just want it in the corner. So I'm just going to take my glue. I like liquid adhesive for this. And I'm going to, and if you have a glue that you have to have a needle in, just put a pop dot on the side. My friend told me that. I'm like, that is so smart. Okay, so I'm going to just put that right about there, and then I'm going to trim off the excess. So I'm going to flip it over and just trim that off. Like so. Make sure that I got it all down nice on the edges and things. So I want to put a little bit more glue dot right there. And then, you know, I probably should go ahead and use some black ink on that as well, just to make it more cohesive with the rest of my tag. Now, I just found as I was getting out my ink, this. Oh, it doesn't, I thought it was a date one. It's not a date one. Oh, shoot. I thought that would be fun to add a date. I think that's somewhere else though, so that's okay. And then from here, I'm just going to layer my letter on, and then we'll add a little bit of these blingies to it. All right, and then here is, I like these sequins, they're fun, that they matched well with what I wanted to do. Tags are fun to use because, and they're fun to do because it's a small surface, and you can make it now, not know what you're going to do with it, and then, you know, later on something will pop up and you'll be like, hey, I need a tag, and you'll have one made that might match perfectly. You know, they also are great for gifts or for place settings. So there's a lot of things that you can do with a tag, and so that's why I decided that Tuesdays are going to be all about tag until we are not quarantined anymore. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it inspires you to get into your craft room and use your stash. Use that stash because, you know, this is the perfect time for that, you guys. This is a great time to use our stash, and you can mail your friends who are, you know, at home too. Mail them a card. Nothing is nicer, I don't think, than a nice handmade card. So make them a card, make a tag, and then put it in the mail to your friend with a note on the back. You know, you can use it as that as well. All right, I certainly hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure you go over and you check out my Stash Busters with the parentheses arts and craft group in Facebook to upload your projects to the album. I would love to see them. If you haven't subscribed, I certainly hope that you consider doing so. Until next time, I'm Beth Golden.